Dan Bickley got here in the mid-90s. He was the columnist at the Arizona Republic. He went to Arizona Sports. He hosts mornings with Vince Marotta, and he's also an acclaimed author. That's right. And I have Dan here with us because this book at the People's Open, we're talking all about the history here, and Dan decided, well, I'll let you describe it. This book, how did it come to be? Because there's a lot here to take in.
Yeah, that book came to be, Brad, where, it's funny because I moved here in 1998 from Chicago and I knew nothing at all about golf. And my first assignment at the Arizona Republic was to go cover the Phoenix Open. So I had to do a crash course and sort of acclimate and assimilate myself with the game of golf. And I came out here and, I've been coming out for 20 plus years and I've seen this tournament evolve. And there is such an amazing story attached to this tournament. People in the Valley, our sports scene is basically defined by one of the most famous blown saves in history, Mariano Rivera in Game 7 of the 2001 World Series. The WM Phoenix Open to me is one of the greatest saves in Valley sports history, and people don't know about it. But at the turn of the century, back in the late 90s, I was out here, I'd go to 16 every weekend, and it was anarchy, it was chaos. And I would start getting phone calls from people in the PGA Tour who had a lot of concerns about the viability of this tournament and where it's going. And you remember back then, golfers couldn't stand the heckling and the booing, and they're like, what is this? This isn't supposed to happen. You people are supposed to be quiet for me. But the PGA Tour was really getting to the point where they're like, we don't know if we can go on with this thing. And so the Thunderbirds, through sheer survival instincts and through sheer trial and error, they found a way to harness all this crazy energy, particularly at 16, and not only save the tournament, but turn it into one of the best tournaments on tour, an actual bucket list item for golf fans. And more to the point, a tournament that the PGA Tour used to roll their eyes about. It's become the model tournament for all other non-majors to try to duplicate.
The book is out. It's the People's Open. Dan put it together. He's got the story. You can check it out there. Where did it hit you? It was like, I need to do a book on this.
It's funny because I initially wanted to do a book, and it wasn't going to be a coffee table-like book. It was going to be a regular manuscript narrative, and I wanted to do it solely on the 16th hole. And so I got together with some Thunderbirds, Scott Jenkins primarily, and we sat down and we talked about this idea, and we kind of agreed that there was a project to be done here, and it kind of morphed into that. It morphed into a hybrid of good stories, history, anecdotes, but also a lot of great pictures that people have never seen.
Last question, if people pick up the People's Open, whether it is during WM Open Week or wherever it's available, what are they going to get out of it?
They're going to get a lot of good stories. There's an amazing story that is a backstory to Tiger Woods' infamous hole-in-one. When Phil Mickelson won this thing in a playoff against Justin Leonard in 1996, it was a groundbreaking moment for this tournament. It's a story of us. It's one of those rare sporting events in Arizona. They don't worry about selling tickets here. Go ask the Diamondbacks about that, or the Cardinals, or the Suns. It's a different story.
Pick it up, the People's Open.